Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our nightly narrations. And we're going to continue with the richest man of Babylon, talking with the spearmaker and the gold lender. Last we left off, the gold lender was showing trinkets out of his box that were rent, I guess you could say. Well, collateral. There's the term I was looking for. Collateral from those that he had lended money to. Last we had spoke, it was a cloth and a necklace that he was reminiscing about from a couple that not the best to lend to. And I will reread the last paragraph so we get the lesson from the lending of those. And then we'll go on and talk about a couple other things that are in the gold lender's box. In bitter remorse, she threw herself into the Euphrates. Those two loans will never be repaid. The chest tells you, Rodan, that humans in the throes of great emotions are not safe risks for the gold lender. Here, now this is different. He reached for a ring carved of ox bone. This belongs to a farmer. I pay the rugs for his woman. The locusts came and they had not food. I helped him, and when the new crop came, he repaid me. Later, he came again and told of strange goats in a distant land as described by a traveler. They had long hair, so fine and soft it would weave into rugs more beautiful than any ever seen in Babylon. He wanted a herd, but he had no money. So I did lend him gold to make the journey and bring back goats. Now this herd is begun, and next year I shall surprise the lords of Babylon with the most expensive rugs it has it has been their good fortune to buy. Soon I will return this ring. He doth insist on repaying me promptly. Some borrowers do that? Queried Rodan. If they borrow for purpose that bring money back to them, I find it so. But if they borrow because of their indiscretions, I warn thee to be cautious if thou wouldst ever have thy gold back in hand again. Tell me about this, requested Rodan, picking up a heavy gold garslet inset with jewels of rare designs. The woman do appeal to my good friend, battered Mathon. I am still much younger than you, retorted Rodan. I grant that, but this time thou dost suspicion romance where it is not. The owner of this is fat and wrinkled, and doth talk so much and say so little she drives me mad. Once they had much money, and were my good customers, but ill times came upon them. She has a son of whom she would make a merchant. So she came to me and borrowed gold that he might become a partner of a caravan owner who travels with his camels bartering in one city what he buys in another. This man proved a rascal, for he left the poor boy in a distant city without money and without friends, pulling out early while the youth slept. Perhaps when this youth has grown to manhood, he will repay. Until then, I get no rental for the loan, only much talk. But I do admit the jewels are worthy of the loan. Did this lady ask thy advice as to the wisdom of the loan? Quite otherwise. She had pictured to herself this son of heirs as a wealthy and powerful man of Babylon. To suggest the contrary was to infuriate her. A fair rebuke I had. I knew the risk of this inexperienced boy, but as she offered security, I could not refuse her. This, continued Mathon, waving a bit of pack rope tied into a knot, belongs to Nabatur, the camel trader. When he would buy a herd larger than his funds, he brings to me this knot, and I lend to him according to his needs. He is a wise trader. I have confidence in his good judgment and can lend him freely. Many other merchants of Babylon have my confidence because of their honorable behavior. Their tokens come and go frequently in my token box. Good merchants are an asset to our city and it profits me to aid them to keep trade moving, that Babylon be prosperous. Mathon picked up a beetle carved in turquoise and tossed it contemptuously on the floor. A bug from Egypt. The lad who owns this does not care whether I ever receive back my gold. Then when I reproach him, he replies, how can I repay when ill fate pursues me? You have plenty more. What can I do? Or what can I do? The token is his father's, a worthy man of small means, who did pledge his land and herd to back his son's enterprises. The youth found success at first, and then was overzealous to gain great wealth. His knowledge was immature, his enterprises collapsed. Youth is ambitious. Youth would take shortcuts to wealth and the desirable things for which it stands. To secure wealth quickly, youth often borrows unwisely. Youth, never having had experience, cannot realize that hopeless debt is like a deep pit into which one may descend quickly and where one may struggle vainly for many days. It is a pit of sorrows and regrets where the brightness of the sun is overcast and night is made unhappy by restless sleeping. Yet I do not discourage borrowing gold. I encourage it. I recommend it if it be for a wise purpose. I myself made my first real success as a merchant with borrowed gold. Yet, what should the lender do in such case? The youth is in despair and accomplishes nothing. He is discouraged. He makes no effort to repay. My heart turns against depriving the father of his land and cattle. And that's where we're going to stop for tonight. There are still more stories to be told by Mathon to Rodin about the different items that are in there. Actually, I believe that's the last item, but we do find out what advice he's going to give about lending money to his brother-in-law to become a merchant. And we'll find that out in our next chapter of The Richest Man in Babylon. So until then, I bid you good night and have a good evening. Enjoy it with your family. And pretty soon, a couple days, it'll be Happy Father's Day. So happy early Father's Day to all those that are out there.